Have you ever felt that heavy, dragging sensation that you are constantly studying for an exam you never actually signed up for? It is the feeling of wearing a mask that pinches just a bit too tight, trying to squeeze yourself into a world that feels entirely plastic. You pour all your energy into memorizing the unwritten rules for a cultural play you never even auditioned to be in. All that relentless effort to blend into an artificial backdrop takes a heavy toll. We spend so much time rehearsing the expected reaction that we end up feeling like strangers in our own lives. Think of it like a secret, sacred text for that test you never asked to take, an invisible manual titled How to Pretend. Now, obviously, you can't buy a physical copy of this on a shelf, but the psychological weight of this rulebook is entirely real. We mentally flip through its pages every single day, scanning the margins for neatly bulleted instructions on how to navigate a conversation or handle a social pressure. We monitor our every move because the message we receive from the group is incredibly clear. Don't rock the boat. If you don't fit in, you get frozen out. That desperation to avoid standing out means we cling tightly to the manual. By doing that, we turn our everyday existence into an exhausting, endless performance, rather than an actual life. This invisible handbook is practically handed to us the day we are born, kicking off a lifelong conditioning process. This diagram illustrates exactly how it starts. As kids, we are taught the simple game of coloring inside the lines, where every crayon stroke snaps perfectly to the edge of the assigned shape. Then you grow up, and the game is exactly the same, but the grid expands. The boxes just get bigger. Now you are carefully filling in your career, your marriage, your mortgage. We even adopt specific physical uniforms to prove we get it. The right clothes, the right car, they act as our personal compliance badges, signaling to the room that we are playing along. And then there are the daily micro-behaviors the manual requires. You force a smile when you don't feel like it. You nod along when you completely disagree. You politely laugh at a terrible joke. Every single time we shrink our true opinions or wear one of those compliance badges to appease the group, we are sewing a label onto our own identity that says conformist. But here is the massive lie driving the entire manual: the promise that if you follow all these rules perfectly, you will finally achieve genuine belonging. What's actually happening is a psychological transaction. We trade away our genuine impulses and private disagreements just to secure a seat at the table. That hollow prize of societal approval is completely conditional. It evaporates the exact second you stop dancing to the group's rhythm. Because that approval requires constant, exhausting maintenance, it traps you in a maddening, never-ending tightrope walk. The effort required to maintain the character eventually exceeds the rewards the character receives. This is a game that can't be won, because the approval isn't for you, it's for the character you are playing. If the manual is a dead end, then trying to master its rules or getting better at the game is a waste of your time. You are left with a choice. You can take the manual's path, try to fit in, get by, and eventually lose track of who you are. Or you can take the rebel's path and show up exactly as you are. Taking that second path requires two liberating steps. First, you mentally slam that rulebook shut. Second, you stop wearing the compliance badges you have been collecting. By dropping the mask, we finally allow others to find and connect with the person behind it. Real connection only becomes possible when we stop projecting a character and accept the risk of being genuinely seen. That brings us to the final, ongoing step of the rebellion. You choose to exist in a state that is unapologetically raw, weird, and completely unpolished. True rebellion requires the courage to treat the manual as if it never existed, refusing to even read the rules everyone else is obsessing over. It is about taking a blank page and fearlessly writing your own story, entirely in your own voice. Which really only leaves you with one question to think about. What is the title of your book?